Okay, thank you. Welcome to Cloud Hero. My name is Dawei and I'm from Google Cloud. We're very happy to be here in the Digital Academy Learning Festival. This is the fourth day of the Learning Festival, and we hope you all enjoyed the session so far. Over the next 1 hour, we're going to empower you for hands-on learning so as to gain skills and build confidence in Google Cloud. And have a little fun with cloud competition while you are upscaling your cloud competency. We want you to be prepared for and excel in cloud transformation in Singapore government. Allow me to introduce the Google team here today. My name is Dawei, and I'm a technical account manager from Google Cloud. Tomo is my friend at Google. He is a cloud technology associate trainee at Google Cloud. We're both based in Singapore. Today, Tomo and I will guide you through the Cloud Hero game. We also have a few canned facilitators for this event. Kunta, Gayu, Hannah, and Ratanasuda are my fellow technical account managers from Google Cloud. And Stefan is a cloud technology associate trainee. You can reach out to them using the chat function in the Zoom webinar. It will help answering questions from the audience to make sure that you all have a smooth and pleasant Cloud Hero experience. Here's the agenda for the next hour. You met us all. We're going to hear about the game and why we're playing. I will spend a few minutes introducing the very basics of BigQuery and BigQuery machine learning, also known as BigQML. And then we will move on to walking you through the first lap of the Cloud Hero game. After the walkthrough, we will give you some time to work on the first lap. Then we will wrap up the event with a few tips for you to excel in Cloud Hero and Google Cloud. Here are the technical requirements for playing the Cloud Hero case. You need a desktop or laptop computer. Note that mobile phone is currently not supported. Of course, you need to have internet connectivity. For the browser, we recommend Google Chrome because of its incognito capability. But you can also use Safari or latest Microsoft Edge. Whenever you are lost, check out the one-pager guide at cloudhero.page.link/1. We've also put the link to the one-pager in the meeting chat. If you have not done it yet, please register a QuickLabs account using the organization or corporate email at quicklabs.com. So what is Cloud Hero? Cloud Hero events bring you together to learn and then engage in friendly competition against one another in labs by using your Google Cloud skills. The objective of Google Cloud Hero is to deliver hands-on training, upskill in Google Cloud solutions, and have fun along the learning journey. After this 1 hour session, you will be the real Cloud Hero. Here is an overview of the hands-on labs in this Cloud Hero game. You're going to learn about BigQuery analytics and machine learning with these 4 labs. In the first lab, BigQuery Quick Start command line, you're going to use BQ, the Python-based command line tool for BigQuery, to query public tables and load sample data into BigQuery. In the second lab, ingesting new datasets into BigQuery, you will ingest several types of datasets into tables inside of BigQuery. In the third lab, getting started with BigQML, you will learn how to create, evaluate, and use machine learning models in BigQuery machine learning. In the last lab, predict taxi fare with the BigQuery ML forecasting model. You will explore millions of New York City yellow taxi cab trips available in the BigQuery public dataset. You will then create a machine learning model inside of BigQuery to predict the fare of the cab ride given your model inputs. Lastly, you will evaluate the performance of the model and make predictions with it. Note that all labs in this Cloud Hero game have clear step-by-step instructions and no prerequisite knowledge is needed. Because our time is limited today, we will walk you through the first lab in our session today, and you will have 2 days to complete the remaining labs in your own time. Now let's start by a very brief introduction to BigQuery. What is BigQuery? BigQuery is Google Cloud Platform's data warehouse solution to perform high-speed, scalable, and interactive analysis on data. Let me provide some background information. More and more companies and governments are looking for unlocking insights from their data. But it can be really hard to scalably ingest, store, and analyze that data as it rapidly grows. Google's enterprise data warehouse, BigQuery, was designed to make large-scale data analysis accessible to everyone. In this introduction, I will show you how BigQuery can help you easily get valuable insights from your data. If you are a developer, data analyst, or just about anyone else, you're probably working with data. If your business has a small amount of data, you might be able to store it in a spreadsheet. But as your amount of data grows to gigabytes, terabytes, or even petabytes, you start to need a more efficient system like a data warehouse. That is because all that data isn't very useful unless you have a way to analyze it. Traditionally, large sets of data means longer time between asking your questions and getting your answers. Some of you who work on data analytics may have the experience of waiting for hours or days for a data analytics report to be run. That is a frustrating situation. BigQuery was designed to handle massive amounts of data, such as log data from thousands of retail systems, or IoT data from millions of vehicle sensors across the globe. It is fully managed and serverless data warehouse, which empowers you to focus on analytics instead of managing infrastructure. BigQuery is a high-speed database, but how fast is BigQuery? Let's check out this Wiki 100B table in the public dataset. This table contains 100 billion rows and is about 7 terabytes in size. You can see that this query runs in under 30 seconds. Actually, it's 24 seconds from the image. It's quite impressive because within 30 seconds, BigQuery has to read about 1 TB of data, then compress it into 4 TB, execute 100 billion regular expressions with 3 wildcards each, distribute 1.25 TB of data across the network. So let's think about it. You will need a lot of resources if you want to run this in your own data center. But it's blazing fast with BigQuery. You don't need to worry about an underlying infrastructure because Google will handle it for you. Let's talk about security. By design, BigQuery helps you avoid the data silo problem, which happens when you have individual teams in your company having their own independent data marts. This can create significant friction between analyzing data across teams and cause challenges with data version control. Thanks to the integration with Google Cloud's native identity and access management, you can assign permissions to specific users, groups, or projects and keep your sensitive data secure, all while still collaborating across teams. Working with data in BigQuery involves 3 primary parts: storage, ingestion, and querying. Google handles running everything else. BigQuery is a fully managed service, which means you don't need to set up or install anything, and you don't require a database administrator. You can simply log into your Google Cloud project from a browser and get started. First, let's talk about BigQuery storage. Data is stored in the structured table, which means that you can use standard SQL for easy querying and data analysis. For example, let's say you have some data that represent the booking of every barbecue pit in Singapore national parks last year. You could probably just use a smaller database for that because there are only about 7 to 8 national parks in Singapore that has barbecue pits. But what if your data is the booking for all sports facilities in Singapore, including gyms, swimming pools, tennis courts, volleyball courts, badminton courts, etc., etc.? And what if you want to analyze your booking data by type of facility, or by area, by time in the day, and by age of the person who made the reservation? BigQuery is perfect for big data because we manage all that storage and the scaling operations automatically for you. BigQuery's computation and storage are built on top of Google's infrastructure, which has improved tremendously over the years at handling big data. For further reading, you can Google BigQuery architecture and open the first link. Of course, storing the data doesn't matter if you can't get into BigQuery in the first place. Thankfully, there are a lot of ways to do that as BigQuery is integrated with the rest of data analytics platform from Google. You can upload data from cloud storage and just streaming data from cloud data flow, build an ETL pipeline using Cloud Data Fusion, import data from a variety of file formats, or use a combination of all of these. You can learn more about different data ingestion methods so you can decide which setup is right for the dataset. We will learn about dataset integration from CSV, cloud storage, and Google Spreadsheet in our second lab, ingesting new datasets into BigQuery. Once your data is in BigQuery, you are ready to start to get insights to your data. BigQuery supports the same structured query language or SQL that you may be familiar with if you work with ANSI-compliant relational databases in the past. We'll go over multiple ways to work with data in BigQuery so that you can choose what's best for your use case. Plus, you will be able to share access with other users so that they can drive insights from your data as well. Want to skip to analyzing some data? You can bypass the ingestion and storage steps by analyzing the BigQuery public datasets. These are third-party datasets which have been made public for anyone to query against. Google handles all the storage, so you can focus on figuring out answers to questions like, how does the weather in New York City affect the demand for taxis? We will learn how to access BigQuery public datasets in our first lab, BigQuery Quick Start command line. Now, let's talk about machine learning or ML. From a dictionary definition, machine learning is the use and development of computer systems that are able to learn and adapt without following explicit instructions by using algorithms and statistical methods to analyze and draw inferences from patterns in data. We interact with machine learning very often in our daily lives, maybe more often than you have thought. Let's take some Google products as examples. Google Lens uses smartphone's camera and applies deep learning algorithm to identify barcodes, QR codes, labels, and text, and show relevant search results, web pages, and information. Deep learning is a branch of machine learning. YouTube uses ML algorithms to tag videos with inappropriate content. Google Photos uses image recognition based on machine learning to identify objects in the photos. Waymo's autonomous vehicles use ML to make dynamic decisions on the road. Gmail uses ML to automatically detect spam emails and use ML for input prediction. Google Assistant is powered by AI and ML for speech recognition and natural language processing. Machine learning is a huge topic by itself. Typically, machine learning involves building, training, and evaluate ML models. If you're interested in learning more, Google has a machine learning crash course that you can take to learn the basics of machine learning. The link to the course is up here and also in the resource page of the one-pager we just previously shared. But you can simply do a Google search on machine learning crash course and it will show up as the first search result. Now we know machine learning is everywhere and is really powerful. But currently, there are a few key challenges underlying the state of machine learning. First, it requires data scientists, and there are too few of data scientists. Second, it requires setting up multiple tools, moving data in and out, and formatting to the framework that you might be using. Third, it also requires weeks or months to create and deploy ML models. But now, we have BigQuery ML, an easy way to create and deploy ML models. BigQuery ML lets you create and execute machine learning models in BigQuery using standard SQL queries. BigQuery ML democratizes machine learning by letting SQL practitioners build models using existing SQL tools and skills. BigQuery ML increases development speed by eliminating the need to move data. Here's an example of how we can interact with BigQuery ML. You can create, evaluate ML models and use your trained model for prediction, all using SQL queries. Here's an example. The first step is we need to determine which dataset we're interested in and write SQL query to extract training data from the dataset from BigQuery. Second, we use the SQL command to create a model and specify a model type that is supported by BigQuery ML. Next, evaluate the model and verify that it meets your requirement. Last but not least, make a prediction using the model on data extracted from BigQuery. It's that simple. Now, more and more machine learning models are now supported by BigQuery ML. The list that you're seeing here is growing fast. In our third lab in the Count Hero game, you will learn how to create, train, and verify a logistic regression model with BigQuery ML. In the fourth lab, we will train a linear regression model using historical taxi ride dataset and use our learned model to predict taxi fares. Now, it comes to an end to the introduction to BigQuery. We should have everything we need to get started. Without further ado, let me hand over to Tomo, who will guide you through the first lab of the Count Hero game.
All right, thank you, Dawei. So let me share my screen. All right, thank you, Dawei, for the BigQuery overview. So hi, folks. My name is Tomo. I'm a Cloud Technology Associate Trainee at Google Cloud. I'm part of the Skills Ignition Program, an initiative between the IMDA and Google. So there are two parts to my presentation. First, I'm going to walk you through logging into Quick Labs account, orientate you how to change certain settings, giving you the game link and access code to start the challenge. Second part, I'm going to show you a live demo of what I explained in the first part. So if you are familiar with Quick Labs, fly your way through and start the challenge, or else you can jot down some notes first and follow along the live demo. So let's get on to the fun part. Now, there are three important information I'm going to share with you today. The first, as you see on screen, is the Quick Lab registration link. All right. Second is the game link, and third is the access code. So first, log into Quick Labs. If you have a Quick Lab account with your organization email, go ahead and use that one. Else, do create a new account with your organization email. Now, just take note that the confirmation will take around 5 to 10 minutes. Right, so just wait up for the confirmation email before you can start on to your Quick Labs account. Today's game will not cost you your account any credits, but you will still earn a badge with that account. So let's pause a moment if you need to sign in or create a new account. Please do use your organization email for this game, all right? Because later on we will be able to see your the leaders board and see what your rankings are. It's gonna be fun. And if you have any issues, please let us know in the chat. We have our Google's facilitators standing by to help you, right? So I'll give you around a minute or two to log on to the website, get your accounts up and started. Okay, so I'm gonna move on while you guys are creating your account. So before we walk through the first lab, you may want to adjust your profile name, and this is how you do it. Select the profile icon on the top right-hand corner, click on Settings, and look for player name. Enter your preferred player name, family-friendly please. I would encourage you to put your name followed by the organization you come from. For example, if you're from IMDA or IHL and whatnot, right? Then scroll down and click on Update Settings. Now, once you're logged into the Quick Labs account, this is the second information, is the game link. So you can copy and paste the game link on the screen, or you can look for it at the web, at the chat session below. So click on this join game and you should see Intro to BigQuery Analytics and Machine Learning. All right. Just a tip here is the same link followed by games/1707, just for this particular game for today. Now, the next piece of information, the most important one, is the access code. So enter the access code being shared with you now, that's shown on the screen. So the game has 4 labs, and we are going to walk you through the first one. So don't worry about the time period indicated, that is how much time you have needed. And doesn't matter when or which lab you start the game, as the points is based on when you start each lab. I'll talk more about that in a bit. Now, each time you are in the lab, you are going to be using an anonymous set of credentials, as this is part of the learning experience in Google Cloud. You'll be working on Google Cloud Platform for this set of exercises. Make sure not to confuse the student login and project login, and always triple check you are not logged into any existing projects you might have. The way to have good hygiene here is to always use incognito mode or window for each new lab and each new sets of credentials. If you do confuse them, you might not be able to complete the exercises and subsequent lab. Ensure you keep everything straight for each lab. And also, you do not want to be charged for any GCP usage. And so always use anonymous credentials. Now, next point, you will manually start each lab and get new login credentials, and you must end each lab before going on to the next challenge. So we like to emphasize these points here as a pro tip. Before you start the lab, read through all the instructions first, so you aren't running down the clock. Okay, are we ready? So I'm going to walk you through the first lab, and feel free to either follow along or watch and come back to it. Here we go. So as you can see on my screen right now, this is the page that will greet you once you have created your account. On the right-hand corner, you can go to settings right over here. And you can change your player name. So right now I just put Tomo, bracket Google. So it's easier for me to identify which organization I come from. Right. So once you put into the game link right here, you will be greeted with this page. So what we do is we'll join the game, put in the access code. So if you can't remember, you can jot this down. Okay, and click join. Right. So from an overview, I would know and I can see how many people who have joined in the game. All right. So once you're on this page, you can see the 4 games, and we're going to start on with the first lab. So click on the first lab. It's called BigQuery Quick Start Command Line. Now, as I mentioned earlier, before you start any lab, the pro tip here is that read through the whole entire lab. Right? As long as you haven't started the lab, you can read through and understand what's the objective of this challenge and what is required you to do. Right? And on the right side, you will see the number of the players and also the points that will be allocated to you. Right. So I'm going to start out how we start the lab. So click on the start lab. So once you click on the start lab, you'll be provisioned a username, password, and the GCP project ID, right? So hygiene tip here, what I'll do is always right click and open link in incognito mode. There you are, right? So I'll just minimize this, put it this way, so you guys can see. So that's the reason why we need you to have a laptop or desktop, right? It's pretty difficult to run these games on your mobile. And if you have a dual screen, it's much better, so you can toggle through between the challenge and what you're doing during the lab. All right, so you can see the username has already been entered for you. Just click on next. So the password, just click on this icon over here. Right click, paste, click on next. You'll be greeted with this page and just press on accept. So there you are. You are on the GCP page. Just click on I agree and continue. Now, so just an overview of what GCP is all about. So on your left side here, there's a hamburger menu. You can close and open. All the products on GCPs are on this page, right? So you can access BigQuery, you can spin up any VMs, and you also can do up any ML, machine learning stuff, right? If not, you can always search here. For BigQuery's products. All right, so let's go on to the next step. On this first challenge, it says that we are going to examine a table. And we're going to do this on the Cloud Shell. So the Cloud Shell is located right over here. There's this button over here. It says Activate Cloud Shell. So let's click on it. You click on Continue. So Cloud Shell is just like a command line, like a Linux command line, where you can input all the G-Cloud commands, the BQ commands, the kubectls and whatnot. It's all installed inside this program over here, right? Right. So it says to examine the schema of Shakespeare's table in the samples dataset. Run this query. So what I'll do is just click on this, paste it over here. If you are greeted with this, just click on authorize, and it will run through. There you go. And it even shows you the output that you expected on your Cloud Shell. So just ensure that it's all right and it's all okay, and we can move on to the next one. The certain help command, you can put in help, BQ help query if you need additional help, or you can just run BQ help to understand more commands that is required. So I'm just going to clear this. So the next step is we're going to run this SQL query here, right? So if you want to take some time, you can look through and understand what's the entire query is all about and what are we going to achieve here. Or else you just copy and paste, and it runs. There you go. All right. Now, the next is very important. Once we are on this page, and once we have done the query, there's this box called Check My Progress. So every time when you are done with a certain objective or task, click on Check My Progress to ensure there's a green check mark, and you can proceed on to the next task. As you can see, I've been awarded 1 million points, right? Now, there are certain circumstances where you don't get the green check mark. So there are two things that can happen. First, it's either there are certain queries or certain tasks that you didn't do accordingly as required, or second, there's a bug. So I faced quite a couple of it. There's a bug in the query, or sometimes it just doesn't capture that you have done that task. So not to worry, you can always either end lab and restart the whole entire thing. If not, you can always click on the email support or chat support, right? And they will help you instantaneously. Okay. So I'm going to do this last task just to show you. So this last task says that run the following search for Huza, and if it's not in the database, it will return no match. So here we go. Right, so there's no match. And check my progress to ensure that I've done this part. Right. Now, the next thing that I want to emphasize is that once you're done with the lab, all right, you may feel free to look around and look at all the other programs and products that we have. But do take note, do not spin up or provision any VMs, don't start mining cryptos and whatnot, right? We don't want your account to get banned. So stay within the activity guide, what needs to be done. But if you want to roam around, feel free to do so. So that's the end of my presentation today. So if you do have any questions or anything that you require, do feel free to type in your questions in the chat. Our Google facilitators will be.
Is there a connection problem? Oh, okay, no problem. Thank you, Tomo, for your excellent demo for the first lab. Now let me continue with a few tips. Just give me 1 second. Right. Okay, can you hear me, Tomo? Okay, great. Okay, thank you, Tomo, for your excellent demo for the first lab. Before we give you some time to complete the first lab, let me go through some quick tips to hypercharge your Cloud Hero experience. So as I mentioned, this is a competition. So let's talk about scoring. Points are earned by completing the steps in the lab, and bonus points are earned for speed. Remember to end the lab when you have finished all the steps. You can do each lab up to 5 times, and your fastest score is the one that is incorporated into your overall score. You can track your progress by clicking the leaderboard tab in the main game page. The leaderboard only reflects the first 50 players by score and you. You can also view the score type when you are in the lab. If you hover your mouse on the right side of the screen, it will pop up. The GCP console has a few areas to know about too. I think this one Tomo has already mentioned. The search bar in the middle allows you to quickly jump to other GCP services pages. Like if you don't want to look for BigQuery every time in the left-hand side hamburger menu, you can just enter BigQuery in the search bar to navigate to BigQuery directly. The prompt icon is also introduced by Tomo. In the right of the search bar opens the Cloud Shell, which we have already gone through in the demo. We've got a few ways to get help. During the webinar, you can chat with our facilitators for help. Because we have a lot of participants today, if nobody answers your chat messages in Zoom, please consider using QuickLab support or email our support areas. There is chat and email support available 24/7 for QuickLabs. Please look for chat support or email support at the top right-hand corner of the screen once you enter a lab. You can also email askcloudhero-sg@google.com if you have any more questions. We created this email alias specifically for this event. Email sent to this address will reach Google team directly. But please note that this is just a temporary alias, which will only be available until the end of this week. For general inquiries about QuickLabs, please reach out to QuickLab support. And of course, you can always Google for help. Review the support documentation at cloud.google.com/docs, or you can review BigQuery and BigQML specific documentation. The link to the documentation is available in the resource page in the one-pager. Great, now we're all set. We will give you some time to complete your first lab. Remember, everything we discussed in this presentation is actually in the one pager, and the link is here in this page. Like for example, the access code, the link to the game, how to start the game, how to ask for help, and all the references, everything is actually in the one pager, called hero.page.link/1. So if you are lost, check out the one pager guide at this link. We will come back at 10:50 Singapore time to allow you some time to register for your account, take part into the competition, and finish the first lab.
Dawei.
Yep.
So if there's any questions, we can also take it up here.
Yes, yes. But I mean, the participants might not be able to ask questions directly to us. So you need to put the questions in the. If you have a question, please do not use the Q&A button. Use the chat button and chat to our panelists. If you have any questions, please ask using that channel. You can see my leaderboard. Currently, Mermaid is at the top, and the point is much higher than anybody else. I think she or he might have finished the first lab already.
Well done. Well done.
Pretty fast. Well done. We see we have 17 participants so far. We're asking for more participations from the audience. But I mean, if you have an issue accessing Quick Labs or Google Sheets, later you can continue to do this lab until midnight of 25th of June. This hero game will be open for 2 days. So don't worry if your company policy or corporate policy is not allowing to visit Quick Lab. if you have already finished the first lab, feel free to proceed with the second lab. And you can actually take all the labs in any order you like. Although it is organized in such a way that the second lab is built on top of the first lab, and the fourth lab is built on top of the third lab. But you can mix and match with the orders. It doesn't really matter. There's a question from Chris. Can anyone please help me? Any of the panelists? Thank you.
Dawei, do you know the question that Chris raised?
No, it just raised his hand. So we should reach out to Chris.
Not bad. We have Ginseng SG now leading up the leaderboard with 60 points. Well done. So as I mentioned again, all right, please do change your player name from the settings so that we are able to monitor your name and which organization you come from. So you can have like a healthy competition amongst yourself.
It's a good idea to let your colleagues or fellow public sector employees to know your name, because this is an honor. It's an honor to be top of the leaderboard. More people are joining the game, which is good.
Yes, I can see that. I think it takes some time for it to register the account, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, maybe many people still didn't, when they start the session, they didn't really have a QuickLabs account. So it may take some time, but please take your time because we have 2 days for this game. You can, if you do not have time now, you can even do it later after work or even tomorrow. But do let us know if you encounter any issue or if you have any technical questions related to the content of this game or related to how to register to QuickLabs, how to start a lab, this kind of things. We're ready to help you. Just wait for 2 more minutes until everybody finish the registration participation and finishing the first lab, and then we will wrap up the event. I can see that Jinsing SG from GovTech is leading the leaderboard. And his or her points is like 6 times or 7 times more than the second player.
Yeah, well done.
Well done.
I think the last 1 minute or so, I just want to share with certain hygiene again. Ensure that when you start lab, always use incognito mode again, okay? So that you won't get confused with your own projects and lab account. And once you are done, always end the lab so that the points will be allocated to you for it, right? And you can always try it up to 5 times as fast as possible if you want to get more points. By then, you will know what the entire game is all about. So I'll pass over the time to wrap up. Dawei?
Okay, let me come back. Okay, thank you for coming back. I hope you have all finished lab 1. Some of you may have already finished lab 2, like Ginseng and SG. If you're stuck somewhere in any of these labs, please reach out to either QuickLab support or our event-specific email alias for help. Everything is actually in the one-pager. So what's next? If you think QuickLabs is fun and would like to play more, you can take a Google Cloud Skills Challenge and earn Google Cloud Skill Badges, which I will introduce next. Google Cloud Skill Badges is a digital badge that shows on your QuickLabs profile and can be shared with the public and your friends on social network. To earn a skill badge, you just need to pick your quest, which is a series of labs related to a given topic. At the end of the quest is the challenge lab, which is more difficult because it has no step-by-step instructions. Complete all the labs in the quest to earn the badge. It's basically very similar to our Account Hero game. Although you're not competing with other people, you're just challenging yourself. I would also like to encourage all of you to participate in the Google Cloud Skills Challenge. Most of the introductory and fundamental labs in QuickLabs are free, but some of the more advanced labs require training credits. Google Cloud have a program that can give you 30 days free access to all Google Cloud labs on QuickLabs. And the only thing you need to do is to complete one of the fundamental labs after entering the promotional code. Just go to this page, go.quicklabs.com/skills-challenge and follow the instructions. The link is also on the one-pager. You will not only get free access to all the labs in your quest, but all the labs in every quest. Use your 30 days wisely and learn as much as you can. And don't forget to show your achievements on your social network. So that's the end of our presentation, and I hope you have all enjoyed the session. I hope you have enjoyed the session and found it informative. Please continue with the rest of the labs, and we look forward to seeing the points grow on the leaderboard. If you have any questions or feedback, please send it to ask-hero-sg@google.com. And remember, you are the real Cloud Hero. Thank you all, and please enjoy the rest of the Learning Festival. See you.